Hi, let's chat life shift. Why I'm going back to school at the age of 43 to start a whole new career. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Jocelyn Martin, and if you are just joining me, welcome. I'm excited to get to know you. I am a certified holistic personal trainer and health coach. I am a mom of three, a military spouse, and someone who really thrives on helping other people live their best life. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to know how you can live your best life in really simple, easy steps, stay tuned. So, made a huge life decision over the last several weeks to go back to school for a nursing degree. I'm actually enrolled right now to get my prerequisites done so that way next fall I can enroll in either a direct entry Nurse Practitioner program or an advanced BSN because I already have one bachelor's degree. So don't want to go all the way back through 4 years of school when I've already done a lot of the regular classes. And I want to share with you a little bit about why now, right? Why now? At the age of 43, right? I'm right in the midst of the height of my career. I've loved the last 12 years as a personal trainer and helping clients. But why now? I mean, I still have young kids. Why would I take on this additional role? And the reason is really for a multitude of things. Our life is a journey and we will continue to change. My grandfather used to say to me, the only thing that's true is death and taxes. And that means that you can do anything that you want. When something is no longer working for you, you should course correct. You can always open another door, find another window, go through or down another path. And he used to say that you get to create the life that you want. You get to choose a different career, choose a different company, choose a different job. The choice is yours. You're never stuck where you currently are. And really for about the last 9 months or so, I've really been struggling with feeling uneasy, really is the biggest thing. Feeling uneasy about where I was currently with my career. And it had absolutely nothing to do with the amount of people I was helping, how much money I was making, what I was doing. I love my job as a personal trainer. I love my clients. I love working with them and seeing the shifts that they make. But I started to feel called that there was something else that I was supposed to be doing. So I spent a lot of time in prayer and reflection. And the one thing that kept on coming back to me over and over again was, why am I doing what I'm doing? Right? Our lives should be lived with a purpose. The purpose of being a good mom, the purpose of helping other people, the purpose of spreading joy, spreading love. There should be a purpose to our activities and the life that we are living. And when I started my career as a personal trainer, it really was because my husband was an active duty Marine and constantly deploying. He really wasn't home. We had very small children at the time. At the time, we only had one, but we were already trying for our second child. And he was gone a maximum of a full year to being home 50% of the time. I didn't want to send our kids to daycare all the time. I wanted to be the chief influencer in their lives. I wanted them to be raised with our values and to be able to mold them and teach them to become the young adults that they are becoming. So I left my job in corporate America, which I loved. I loved working in pharmaceuticals. I worked with some of the top hospitals in New York City. I loved interacting with the nurses and the doctors, learning the research, reading clinical trials, learning about anatomy and physiology. And so it was a nice, smooth transition to transition that over to personal training and health coaching. I was still helping people. I was still in that research mode of learning constantly and still with the body and anatomy and physiology. But I also was able to mold that to be able to be home with our kids. So that's really how my business started to take shape, was helping other people to live their best, healthy, happy lives while still being able to be home with our kiddos. And I was able to do that for 12 years successfully. But if you've been an entrepreneur, you know that it is all life encompassing. And as our children started to grow and take on lives of their own, I was working at 6 a.m. in the morning all the way to 10 p.m. at night with clients, depending upon, hours that were being worked. It was a long day. It was draining. I felt like I was never not working, which also meant that I felt like I was never 100% present, not 100% present with my husband, not 100% present with my kids. I always had my phone there. I always had my laptop there. There was something that was always pulling me saying, okay, you need to get this done for this client, or you need to update this, or, this is, you said that you were going to get this video done or this routine done for them. There was always something to do. And that not being 100% present was really taking its toll. I felt as though I was two completely different people and escaping into my work when family life got tough. And that's not how I wanted to live. I wanted to be involved in my children's lives. I wanted to be involved in my husband's life and what he had going on. So that why of being able to help other people and still be there for my family, well, I was starting to leave my family in the dust. And it just didn't feel right anymore. So I started to ask myself some really deep questions and really ponder and pray on what those next steps should be. And lo and behold, I found myself looking deeper and deeper into something that I had been interested in when I first decided to become a personal trainer. And that was going back to study medicine. Except I didn't want to start on an MD program. That once again was going to take me away from my family. So instead, I started looking deeper into nursing and the nurse practitioner field. I love that nurses work hand in hand with their clients. I love that the term holistic is part of the nursing creed, that they are not just treating the person like their illness, but they're actually looking at the entire person, how their family interacts with that, and treating the person holistically as a complete entity. That was exactly how my personal training practice was, and that really spoke to me. So just this past summer, I decided to enroll and get my prerequisites done so that way I can go back and get a nurse practitioner degree, or at least the first step, an advanced BSN. First step to me, really changing up my why, not leaving people behind, but really enhancing that and kind of taking a different path to helping others lead their best lives, this time through the role of being a nurse. So I'm excited. I am nervous as to what going back to school at the age of 43 and being a mom will be like. I'm sure it will be completely different than what it was like when I was in my 20s and getting my first bachelor's. But excited because I know a lot more about myself. I know better now how I learn and what works for me in regards to studying. I know now that failure is okay, and that if I'm struggling with something, to ask for help. Professors don't seem as scary anymore because we're more on the same age level now. So they're not that old person who has all this experience. Now I am that older adult student going back. So it's kind of be easier for me to ask a professor for help. I also know that it's okay to struggle. Struggle means that I'm learning. It just means that there's a missing piece. Because I have failed multiple times already. There are things that I've done in my business that hasn't worked out. So I'm not so afraid of that failure. I'm not so afraid of the challenge or the struggle. So I'm approaching going back to school with a completely different mindset than I did when I was in my 20s. And I'm looking forward with hope and excitement as to what the future will bring me when it comes to being a nurse. So, I'd love to hear from you. Are you an advanced student? Are you somebody who went back to school at an older age? and went back to get another degree. What are some of the tips and tricks that worked for you? Are you somebody who completely course corrected with a career and started in one path and then decided to go a completely different path? What are some tips that you could give me? What's some feedback as somebody who's an older learner now and going back to school? Comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are and what will help me be a better student, or if you are a nurse or a nurse practitioner already, what will help me to be a better nurse or nurse practitioner now that I'm going back at the age of 43. Thank you for joining me with this video. I hope that you will take up the challenge to always live your best life. And if something isn't working for you, to know that it's okay to course correct and start anew. It's always about learning and about the journey, not necessarily the destination.